encounter a dark ride. Oh my gosh, you guys! The selection of ingredients that you can get. Cutest little cookie tin jar. She's only with him for the money. We're telling me that I should make a Reddit. Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. And it is the new moon day event. It actually happened yesterday. Well, yesterday for me, because I'm in the future in Singapore. But today on this Tuesday, we are going to look at the first sleep session that we are doing for the new moon day event. The events are like weird to capture for this because they start on a Monday, but you don't really get the first look at the event results until Tuesday morning. You know what I mean? So here we are on Tuesday. My Snorlax got a 100% sleep score. I woke up with a little bit of a raspy voice, and I feel like I'm coming down with something, but I'm not sure. When I saw my ENT last week, he did mention that dust mite allergies are a very common thing here in Singapore, and that if I do have an allergy to it, the longer I'm here, the more it'll get worse. So I don't know. I know I do get reactions to dust sometimes, especially when I'm doing like vacuuming and emptying the canister. So it may very well be a dust mite allergy. But this is session 674. And let's see, we are at a slumbering sleep type. So we should be anticipating Murkrows because they are boosted appearance rate for this event, on top of having them not be full quicker. And we should maybe encounter a dark ride. Oh my gosh, you guys! Do you see that? That's a shiny Murkrow. Wow. Good thing I recorded today, but oh my god, do you see that? I'm so happy. The feeling I have right now. No matter how many times I see a shiny, I always get so excited. That initial, like, you look at it, your eyes are like adjusting, and then you see the sparkles, and then it hits you. But this is the first sleep session of the new moon day, and we've got a shiny Murkrow. I love it. It's like a magenta, almost the color of my walls. Gorgeous. Okay, let's do the speed review and see what else shows up. I still can't believe it. Alright, so it looks like there is no, unless it's a new sleep type for Darkrai, we did not encounter it. Oh, yeah, so no Darkrai tonight, or last night. Maybe tonight we will find a Darkrai. But I'm thinking if I find one, I'm gonna throw a Master Biscuit at it because I want to get another Eureka Seed for the sake of capturing some footage for the video I need to work on. Alright, but here it is, Murkrow. Look at those eyes. It has a weakness for shiny things, and it hides sparkling objects it finds in secret locations. Sometimes it falls asleep before it can hide all its jewels, perhaps because it's worn out. How fitting, because I too love shiny, sparkly objects. So we got the 1-star sleep style. This is the first time we've encountered a Murkrow, and we got a shiny. So I don't really have to worry about capturing it all the way through. I think it's 16 pips, right? Let's take a look. But either way, it shouldn't matter because it's a shiny. Yeah, it's a 16 pip Pokemon. I really got lucky because, as you guys know, if it's a shiny, do not use your bonus biscuit. Just use your Poke Biscuit, and it's going to be a critical capture. So this is quite the lucky moment for us. I am so happy. I can't wait to share this with you guys later when you guys watch this, and I can't wait to show my boyfriend. That was like the perfect hit of dopamine for this morning. What else should I pick up? I guess I'll do Cubone. I have a decent Mankey already that I evolved into a Primeape. So maybe a Cubone because I don't really have a good one of that, and I guess that will be useful when I go back to Topalo as a berry finder. But I'm not going to use my cookies to catch anything else. As you see, I'm still pretty low. I haven't redeemed anything from the shops yet, but it is almost the end of the month. So once the end of the month comes closer, I'm going to decide what I want to purchase, because I was like, should I get another Master Biscuit or really just dump everything on cookies? Or a Mean Skill Seed. Should I get a Mean Skill Seed? But we are obviously going to choose this portrait. So you're going to see a lot of Murkrow portraits probably. And it's great because a lot of us are going to be catching Murkrow for the first time. None of us have candies for it. So showing off your Murkrows would be really great. Alright, let's see. Is it gonna be any good? I mean, even if it's not, I'm just happy that it's a shiny. So Lonely Nature, kind of fitting for the vibes. Okay, so it is a Skill Specialist Dark type Pokemon We got double coffee and beans at the end, but that is quite a decent amount of beans at level 60. 6 beans at level 60. All right, so the skill is super luck, just a little refresher. You get 5 of one type of ingredient chosen randomly from a specific selection of ingredients. And on rare occasions, you will get a great number of dream shards instead. Oh, so it's not from a pool of ingredients that you've already unlocked, like ingredient magnet S. This over here is the selection of ingredients that you can get when super luck is used. So you can either get tasty mushrooms, bean sausages, green grass soybeans, or rousing coffee. Alternatively, if you don't get an ingredient, you can either get 500 dream shards or 2.5k dream shards. So let's see, at level 2, the ingredients stay the same, but the dream shards go up. Let's see at the very highest level, at level 7. Ingredients stay the same throughout, but you get 20k dream shards if this procs its skill. Damn. I wonder if that outpaces the Gulpin Swalot. I'm not sure because I don't have a good one. So can't really compare. But let's see what the stats are. It's helping bonus. That's looking good. Ingredient inventory up S is good too. Moving on. Helping speed S, really good skill trigger. I'm super happy with that. And at the very end, ingredient finder S. Okay, I'm not upset. This is actually really good, really solid. Helping speed up, energy recovery down. I think we got a really good shiny, you guys. This is like very solid. Okay, I will say, skill trigger comes very, very late, okay? At 75. We currently right now cannot reach level 75, but I am happy with the amount of helping speed because that just shortens the frequency you see over here. So it helps out a little faster, and each help action will find a berry or an ingredient. And during those berry or ingredient, when it decides if it wants to find a berry or an ingredient, it may do additional help by proccing its skill. So for those of you who are curious, this is what it looks like when I plugged it into the Rain on X calculator. And this is what it looks like if it's going to be a Honchkrow. It'll proc its skill on average 5 times a day. And for the Murkrow, 4 times a day at level 30, both at level 30. Other than that, I'm very happy for a shiny, and like it's dancing too. But yeah, for a shiny, the sub skills are pretty good. So I am so happy we are bringing this bad boy home with us, and that is the only thing we're catching. But wow, what a session. And I didn't swap out my ingredient team. I'm actually on salad week, and I didn't swap out my ingredient team because Arya wasn't really proccing their skill. Oh, my bag is full. So my team was pretty low energy, and I didn't want them to go to bed with low energy. Alright, we have an issue here because we don't have enough ginger, but at the same time, I don't have enough space to make room for ginger. So let's just remove some stuff. Right, I have some room now, so it should be good. My dessert week last week was pretty decent. The numbers were pretty low though, because desserts are like my worst, but I did have fun making desserts because the dessert recipes are just so cute looking, you know? All right, so we got a lot of goodies that we picked up. Let's make our breakfast, and we are going to make our ninja salad. So every time it is salad or curry week for me, I do the ninja recipes because my pot size is just enough for it. And with my pot size right now, I don't have enough to increase it, but because there isn't a dish that really sticks out to me that makes me feel like, okay, if I increase it 2 times or 1 time or whatever, then I'll be able to make this recipe. You know, there hasn't been an instance of that, which is why I've kept my pot space as where it is for quite some time. So if you're wondering whether or not you should use your dream shards to increase your pot space or to use your dream shards to level up a Pokemon, you really need to look at what sort of recipes you will be able to unlock with that additional space that makes sense for you. Otherwise, you're probably better off using those dream shards on leveling up Pokemon, like getting it to level 50 and unlocking the second ingredient slot. Alright, but let's take a look at the box. Is there anything else I need to show you guys? Alright, so, well, we saw the Murkrow today. Super happy, oh my gosh. I feel like I don't really need to look for another one. I'm good. So once I get enough candies, I will be able to evolve it into a Honchkrow, and it's gonna look like such a diva. Oh, I also need a Dusk Stone though. Side note, that Dusk Stone looks like it would be such a good hard candy. It looks so juicy, you know? And so fitting that the stone it requires is sparkly because it loves sparkly objects, but we need 80 Murkrow candies in order to evolve this. There's no level requirement. I can't wait to level this up when I get the chance. But I also found this Vulpix, Alolan Vulpix last week. So it is double corn, but over here, as you could see, it's not bad, but it's not like outstanding either. So I'm not going to use this. I'm looking for berry finding S on it. I think my non-negotiable when it comes to berry finding Pokemon, unless it's a shiny, is that it has berry finding. Berry finding number 1, helping bonus is just an extra added bonus if it does have that. But obviously helping speed is a requirement as well, but berry finding super important. And then we got Pawmi with the triple cacao. It is a skill Pokemon. And I'm very happy with the skill trigger, double skill trigger before 50, skill trigger S&M, but the nature is, it's interesting, but it's not for me. And compared to the other healers I have, they have better sub skills and natures. So I mean, once you have a standard, why would you lower it, right? So that is what I think. So the Pawmi and the Vulpix will be provided as candy fodder for later, and our Snorlax is growing. We are Ultra 2 now. I'm not really in a rush to raise my Snorlax as quickly as I can. I'm just trying to enjoy my time at the tundra, encounter as many Pokemon as I can, and get new sleep styles that I don't usually get because I'm not normally here, right? I think I'm like area bonus 54 now, so that's really fun. Let's see what I get. I got a Poke Biscuit, and I haven't used any diamonds, so the bundles always do look tempting, but I haven't really found a strong desire to get one. So this is how much sleep points I have right now. So I don't really have enough for a Master Biscuit, but I will have enough eventually for a main skill seed. But I only have 3 Poke Biscuits, so I feel like I should buy that instead. And I have 0 Master Biscuits, and I have 5 main skill seeds. So New Moon Day, do remember that there are increases to the shiny encounter, which is why it says here you may even meet new shiny Pokemon. And that is the reason why I found the shiny Murkrow, so I got really lucky for today. So just a reminder for people, when it comes to the New Moon Day event, Darkrai will only sometimes appear during the first sleep session of the day, but never during the second sleep session. So do keep in mind about that. If you're planning on taking a nap, I would say do it if you know what you're doing. If not, really look into what sort of drowsy power you need for Darkrai to appear in the first place. Otherwise, taking a nap, especially if it's short, might not reach your goal or objective of encountering Darkrai. And additionally, if you weren't able to encounter Darkrai during sleep research, your chances of encountering Darkrai during New Moon Sleep Day research will increase a little at a time. So I think there was some discussion about this. We do not know, at least I do not know. I'm not sure if the numbers have shown yet or if things have been data mined, but this paragraph initially confused me at first because I didn't know how to interpret it, and sometimes the translation from English or from Japanese to English gets a little muffled or lost in translation. But I think for the most part, most people are interpreting this as, so let's say New Moon Day 1, you do your sleep research, you don't encounter the Darkrai. There's still 2 other days to the New Moon Day event, just like the Good Sleep Day event. It's a 3-day event. So sleep session day 1, you don't encounter it. That means your odds on day 2 and day 3, if you don't encounter it on day 1, it increases a little. So day 2, the chances are higher. If not on day 2, then you get another increase that will roll over to day 3. And then day 3 will be an even higher chance of encountering Darkrai have you not met it on day 2 or day 1. Does that make sense? So yeah, and I believe that counter will not reset when the New Moon Day event number 2, 3, 4, etc. happens. Who knows? I feel like it would be kind of unfair if it did reset. But yeah, if you guys happen to know the numbers, let me know if you guys seem to encounter or stumble upon that information. But this is the research community yap session time. We got our iced latte here. Cheers. That is so good. Lately, I've really been enjoying the Il Cafe Nespresso pods. I got on it because of my friends. I have a lot of Vietnamese friends because I am Vietnamese, and they told me that the Il Cafe Nespresso pod is a great pod if you want to make Vietnamese iced coffee. So I can't say it tastes like it because I haven't put in the other ingredients that are essential to Vietnamese iced coffee, such as the sweet condensed milk, like that thick sweet condensed milk. There's the Laughing Buddha on it. But yeah, I don't have that, so this is just like white honey or whatever. So I do want to try it one day because I do love Vietnamese iced coffee. But if you guys ever go to Vietnam, try Vietnamese iced coffee. But if you're sensitive to caffeine, be very careful because I hear a lot of people say they get like the jitters and stuff. I don't experience that, but yeah, I can't imagine how freaky that would be. Another thing I really want to show you guys. So my boyfriend and I were walking around trying to look for snacks, and I saw the cutest little cookie tin jar, right? It's so cute. I love the clasp here, and it's great because I feel like if I travel or anything, I could put like things that need to be contained in a much more structured container. And it's just so cute, and I loved it, but I wasn't really that interested in the cookies that were being served. But luckily, my boyfriend was interested in the cookies, so it worked out. So he picked the cookies, I picked the tin, and it's just so cute. It kind of reminds me of a pencil box that I had when I was in high school. Like, what I miss about high school is getting cute pencil cases every year, and it has to be the Asian ones because the Asian ones are just so cute. So I would love to go to Chinatown, pick out a cute pencil box, maybe a refill on some mechanical pencils and stationery. But yeah, love this. So cute. And yeah, I have been playing a lot more Grand Blue Fantasy. I've kind of chilled down on the grind because I've caught up on things that I needed to do. I'm slowly filling out my Magna 3 grid for like the weapons I need for Magna 3, so that makes me really happy. There's something called strike time. Happens for me at 11 a.m. and then 8 p.m. and it's so funny because at 8 p.m. I'm like, I tell my boyfriend, it's strike time. I really need to like lock in, and I don't want to say it, but leech my raids. Oh my gosh, TW encountered a Darkrai. Damn. Okay, so more Darkrai candies, but I wonder. Oh, so you're at Greengrass too. I wonder if it's the location that I'm at that kind of prevented me from being able to get Darkrai, because as you guys know, Snowdrop Tundra is not my strongest area either, so the area bonus will affect certain things when it comes to calculating Drowsy power and such. But yeah, Grand Blue Fantasy going great. I'm super loving it. Oh my gosh, Gina found a shiny Eevee. Congrats. Oh, and they got their Darkrai out too. I initially was kind of bummed that my Darkrai got in inventory M, but then I'm like, you know what? It could have been worse. I'd rather it be okay than worse. The lighting on this Cyndaquil looks so ominous. Summer's quickly approaching. I'm very excited because that means the swimsuit or summer banners for Grand Blue will be coming out. I have a Spark Fund ready and I'm just super excited about that. My summer is actually going to be quite hectic. I have 2 flights that I need to go out for, so I'm really looking forward to that. And I'm going to be back home in Canada for 3 weeks as well in August, so I'm very excited to spend time with family and friends, spend time with Remy, our cat. But I'm also excited because in North America, the release for the Switch 2 is sooner than it is for Singapore. So if I'm in Canada, maybe if I'm lucky, I'll be able to pick one up. So I'm really looking forward to that as well. But then again, I'm like, should I hold off on the unboxing until I get home because, you know, content? But then again, it's like, I have it in my hands, I want to play with it. So we will see. We'll see. And I actually started watching the new season, the latest season of Love is Blind. I'm quite late on that, but I finally watched it. And wow, I gotta say, okay, first of all, the music budget, whoa, Carvalho, you encountered a Cresselia. That is so neat. And kind of pretty fitting too, because like Darkrai and Cresselia are mirror opposites of each other. You know what? Because I think Darkrai and Cresselia can encounter on the same map, because that was the case for the event that happened, right? So what if in this event, for those that are in Lapis Lakeside, you have a Cresselia, whether that's natural spawn or you use an incense, would your Darkrai show up as well? Because we're outside that event now. So would it? I don't know. If you guys encountered both, let me know. But Love is Blind, they're using, because you know the meme before was like the type of music they use for the show was like very, I don't know how to describe it, but there's a certain reality show TV music that is used. But this time they were using songs like Jason Mraz, I'm Yours. They had this like really, I don't even remember the title, but the lyrics are like, all my life I pray for someone like you. I'd sing it, but I just attempted and I cringed at myself, so cutting that part out. Yeah, if you guys are familiar with like old school songs. And I was like really surprised with the type of music that they had this season, because I'm like, okay, to purchase the rights for that, they must have like had money for this season. So that was something that stood out to me, recognizing the songs that they were playing. But on top of that, I think this was my favorite season for the fact that when it came to really realistic things that you will encounter as a partner, whether you are, newly dating or reaching that stage of your life where you guys are now deciding whether it is best to part ways or to commit into something a bit more serious in terms of merging both of your lives together. There are certain conversations that need to be had, such as like views in religion, politics, and money, even when it comes to like just fundamental rights as well. And I think it's okay for people to not agree or see eye to eye on everything, because you can have romantic relationships or even platonic ones with friends and family where you don't see eye to eye, but you still have like mutual respect and understanding for why they might think a certain way, right? But this season really captured those instances where people had to talk about things that really matter to them, like core values and stuff like that, and really difficult conversations. And I think it was a very good thing for people to see how these conversations should be had and what to look out for as well. There were some relationships that fell through within the season just due to the fact that they felt their partner just didn't have that curiosity to unpack a bit more for certain conversations, or seem to hold back on talking about it. And I understand the feeling of wanting to hold back, because it is an uncomfortable thing to talk about because you are afraid of feeling judged. So there is that, but I think it's important to communicate that, and your partner would be more than happy to create an even safer space for you to feel free to vocalize certain things. But I think if you're holding back and like you really just don't want to talk about it because you're afraid it might bring issues, that is when it's a problem, because it's like, why are you manipulating the situation in the sense where you're avoiding certain situations and outcome because it's not going to be good for the relationship. And I feel like it's not fair for the other partner, because they need to see it through and see that side to make a decision for themselves whether or not this is something that they want to stay in. You know what I mean? It's no different from when people cheat on each other and they're like, you know what, things are going so well, ignorance is bliss. If I don't tell them, like, things will just still be so perfect. Yeah, perfect for you because you're choosing to withhold that information because it's favorable for you and you still get what you want. But from taking away that knowledge of the other person, from knowing, even if it's going to hurt them, at least they have the information they need to make that decision for themselves. Because who are you to make that decision for the both of you and for them? I just find that so selfish, So yeah, great to see that on TV. And just like other things as well, I really enjoyed it for the depth of what sort of conversations people were able to go through. There was one where the girl wanted to do a prenup with the guy, and that caused a little bit of tension too. And I get both sides, but I think, things like that you really need to talk about to your partner. There's never a right way to do things. There's a right way to do things for you guys that makes sense for you. I find it so wild when people have so much to say about other people's relationships because they're doing something differently. And it's like, just because you wouldn't do it doesn't mean it's not working out for them and that they're happy, So it's just like, it baffles me whenever I hear people overly criticize or have like way too much of an opinion on how someone else is doing something, as long as it's not hurting the couple, Like, one thing that I see very common is when you have a relationship, because nowadays people like to do 50-50, although I would advocate for proportionate to pay, because mathematically it just is more fair. If you're on the path of wanting it to be fair 50-50, don't do 50-50 percentage, do proportionate to pay. Mathematically, that is more fair. But in North America, I feel it's very common to see couples and partnerships go proportionate to pay or 50-50. 50-50, if you make the same pay, it's straight down the middle, it's 50-50, it makes sense. But if your pay is different, going proportionate to pay actually makes more sense and is more fair for both people, because then one person doesn't get screwed over from the other person, okay? So there's that. But there are some couples that still like to do things, I guess what people may call a little more old school, where one person provides more financially than the other. And it typically is the woman that is the person receiving that, because men tend to make more. But women are making more now, so go girls. When it comes to that, I get the initial impulse of being like, gold digger. She's only with him for the money. Gold digger. But at the same time, what is it to you? There's someone for everyone. And if he, the man, the guy providing, knowing that he's making more, and is like, I got you, don't worry about it. If he's making that decision to do so, why are we always villainizing the woman? It just happens to be a woman in this case, because that usually is the case in most situations, but I have heard the reverse as well. But in this situation, I'm gonna say the woman. Why is it that we villainize the woman? You know what I mean? It's the same way where when women want to become stay-at-home moms, certain people villainize them, and they're like, you're so lazy, you just don't want to work. And I'm telling you, if one of you guys take a day in your mom's shoes, you're gonna see, like, it's literally backbreaking stuff. The mental burden of keeping track of everything in the household, it's insane. Side note though, that's like completely side note. But yeah, I just find it funny when I hear people have so much to say about situations like that, where they're like, can't be me, like, I'm gonna need my partner to work. And it's like, look, that's great, you know what you want, and that's great, but do you really have to make yourself feel better by making someone else who's happy with their situation look worse comparatively to you? Like, you know what I mean? Because what is it to you? If you're so busy minding everyone else's business, when are you gonna have time to mind your business, you know? So that's like crazy to me. There's someone for everyone. Some people may not want to do 50-50, and that's fine. They're gonna find that person who is on the same wavelength and also wants to do that for the partner. If you want to find someone that does want to do 50-50, there are so many people out there who are in the same mindset as well. You know what I mean? So it's like, why go out of your way to shit on other people for what they want? Let people do what they want. Unless it's hurting themselves, then, you know, it's just so crazy to me when I see those things. Also, right now in Singapore, on TikTok Singapore, there's been this really interesting discussion when it comes to dating. Now, the thing is, I'm born and raised North American, Canadian all my life, so when it comes to the dating standards here in Asia, I can't really relate, and I don't know too much of it, but I do know a little just based on like what I've seen and what I've heard growing up as well when it comes to things on the east side of the globe in Asia. And it is pretty, from what I hear, normal for people to enter relationships where the guy kind of takes up more financially, like pay on the first date and stuff like that. But I think with the rise of social media, the youth has definitely expanded their views on what dating looks like outside their culture. So there has been this interesting shift where some people are advocating more for 50-50, while some people do not want that for themselves. And I think in this interesting climate as well, where we have young women who are getting more and more educated, getting into the workforce and making money for themselves, they are now in a situation where back then the necessity of needing a partner was more, it made more sense, whereas now it doesn't make that much sense, in the sense that if you can provide for yourself everything you needed that back then you would need someone else to do, what more do you need from a partner to make it make sense for you to obtain a partner? You know what I'm saying? And I can't speak for other people, but I can say for myself that at this age of my life, having worked, being 31, not having like any mortgages or kids, if I were to take on a partner, it would truly be to fill the need of having that emotional support that I need in my life and to experience the joys of life together. And I feel like for a lot of young women, because they are able to provide for themselves, their standards obviously have increased, right? And I hate the conversation of high standards, because it's so crazy how the switch up is when it comes to certain groups of people who have high standards for themselves, when ultimately in life you should keep standards for yourself in every aspect. Like when it comes to work, when it comes to your relationship with family and friends, like you should keep a certain standard. And I think for some people, when it comes to dating, the standard they set themselves when finding a partner is a standard that they've already set and provide for themselves. So for example, like if I like to maintain a certain lifestyle that I know not other people can achieve unless they make a certain amount of money, and I'm gonna look for a partner who values those things out of life the same way I do, because what sense does it make to take on a partner who I'm now going to be putting in a financial burden because I'm expecting them to enjoy those things in life? You know what I mean? And I think it's unfair for people to judge the person who has those standards, because ultimately they know what they want out of life and it's great. I think a lot of times people get upset because they hear that and they come to this realization that, wow, if I'm going into the dating pool, these are the type of people that I have to try to woo, and they're asking for too much. But is it really that they're asking for too much, or it's just like you just don't meet their standard? And that's totally fine, you know? It's totally fine. You don't have the same standard. I don't think their standard is too high. It's their standard. And I think it's like honestly no different from when I hear guys say like, well, if I were dating, I want a big titty goth girlfriend and she has to go to the gym like 5 times a day and she has to be this weight, and then they're not doing the same for themselves. And I say this because, you guys, the amount of times I can count how many times I've heard stories of like friends or girlfriends who tell me they've been with guys or met guys where the guys are monitoring their weight or being like, yeah, you should hit up the gym more. Like, you have so much potential. If you just lost this much weight and go to the gym and like lift weights, like you would be the perfect body. But then they're over there not doing that for them. So it's like, that is when you set an unrealistic high standard. When you set a standard for someone else that you yourself are not meeting or achieving, that is an unrealistic high standard. Okay, but if it's coming from a person where they are already fulfilling that standard for themselves and they just want a partner who has the same standard and wants out of life when it comes to those standards, I don't think that's a high standard. I think if you could provide it for yourself, then it's not a high standard. But if you're asking something too much of someone that you yourself cannot do for yourself, then that's a high standard. But yeah, it's so crazy just seeing the differences when it comes to dating in the North and the West and what people are talking about as well. And let's just say I'm so glad I'm secure in my relationship. I don't have to be in the dating game, because I hear like dating in your 30s is even more hard. So cannot imagine that. But at the same time, if I were single, I've said it before, I would be perfectly happy by myself. It doesn't mean that I won't feel moments of loneliness. I feel like that could be the case even if you're with a partner, because let's say you move away from home. Actually, in my situation, me and my partner, we only have each other here in Singapore. So even though we have each other, there are still moments where I miss my family and friends. But all that to say, even if you are single, it's totally normal to have moments where you're feeling alone. And it takes some time to enjoy your own company. And I feel like for a lot of you guys listening to this, learn to enjoy your own company. It'll help you so much and probably avoid you from getting into situations that aren't really not the greatest for you. But yeah, all that talk, Love is Blind, the newest season, phenomenal. If you haven't watched it yet, I highly recommend watching it. You don't need to watch the other seasons to watch the most recent one, but the recent season, hands down. I'm looking forward to the next season. I think they're doing it in Denver. If any of you guys are from Denver, shout out to you. They have never done one in Canada, so I can't wait for them to make one in Canada. And the thing is, like, if they make one in Canada, am I gonna watch it and I'm gonna be like, oh my god, I know that person, you know? That would be a crazy moment for me, because I'm thinking that's what happens to people when they do Love is Blind. They pick like small cities, and then, you know, you see that person on TV and you're like, holy crap, I've seen that person before. I've dated that person. We matched on like Hinge or Tinder, stuff like that. And yeah, final thing I want to say, a friend of mine was talking to me and they were telling me that I should make a Reddit subreddit thread thing. The thing is, I do use Reddit to like browse on communities that I enjoy, but I don't know too much of it. And I was like, okay, I'm pretty small community. Does it even make sense for me to make a Reddit? But my friend put it in this perspective. He was like, well, if you're not gonna do it, someone's gonna yoink that name anyways, so why not, right? And I'm like, you know what, you're right. And then they put it into perspective that it's like Discord, but not like people could still share things that they find interesting. And on top of that, if you guys have like anything funny or like memes you want to share there, that would be like a great place to share it, because they were telling me that I should do like react stuff. And I'm like, you know what, that does sound fun, but it's like, how am I gonna go about raking all those memes to react to? So they told me like, just make a Reddit. That's a great place for people to, or a subreddit, great place for people to just like post whatever, and then you can react to the stuff there. I am going to link the subreddit. It's like very bare bones right now, but you can find it in the description. I'm also going to link it in the comment section. Join it if you want. And I'm going to do something special for this week period, so you have until Monday to join. But those who join, you can have a customized Flair. Just let me know what Flair you want. I'm not sure if that is a good idea, but I think that's like fun incentive, and I hear that Flair is something fun for people on Reddit. So yeah, join now. pick out your Flair, let me know what you want. And if I have any people here that are like used to moderating Reddits or like know a lot about it, I would really appreciate your time and understand a little bit more about what I should look out for when it comes to this. There's just so much I don't know, so I don't even know like where to start when it comes to understanding the little intricacies of this, because I want to do it right, you know? So yeah, join us in the Reddit, share your memes, and once I have enough, I will definitely make a react video. So I hope you guys enjoy that, or will enjoy it. And I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. I appreciate it every time you do. We have a Discord. Join us in the Discord if you haven't yet. If you're looking for people to share your friend codes with, we have a TCG Pocket community there too, where people do trades and stuff. So, and the new drop is coming out soon. So yeah, great time to get a lot of friends for when the new expansion is tradable. And yeah, join us in our new Reddit. Thank you guys so much for joining me. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. I hope that you guys will find good Pokemon on the new Moon Day event. I still can't believe I found my shiny Murkrow. I'm so excited to edit this and like just share it with you guys. But yeah, good luck to you guys. Take care, good luck, have fun. Bye.